What up, it's Shankster94, and welcome to the epilogue of my full play of Resident Evil Code Veronica X. So, as usual, the purpose of this epilogue is to serve as a conclusion to my series of Let's Plays of Code Veronica X, as well as a bonus video to feature any content, cutscenes, and other things that I may have missed in the actual playthroughs that I've done up to this point. So, since that's the gist of it, I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into this. The first thing I want to show you guys is some rocket launcher action. I realize that after playing the main game and getting the A rank, I have yet to show the rocket launcher. So, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to play out a section from my weapon review of Code Veronica X, because I have a great rocket launcher montage already in that weapon review, so I don't have to record this again for the sake of this epilogue. So I'm just going to show you that little footage, so enjoy this little show of the rocket launcher. Alrighty, so some explosive action there. And yeah, once you have the rocket launcher, the main game is like super easy. There are only some areas where it wouldn't work very well though. Such as zombie dogs, they're kind of hard to hit with the rocket launcher. And of course you can't defeat Alexia Ashford in her final form with the rocket launcher. Only the linear launcher can defeat her there. Alright, so that's enough with the rocket launcher. Now we're gonna actually show some events now. So the next thing I want to show you guys is the 3 different ways that you could save Steve from the Gold Luger trap room. So normally when he needs to be saved, you want to rush there as fast as possible, save him quickly. That would actually give you extra points for your rank at the end of the game. So because of that, I've only shown you guys saving him quickly. So I'm going to show you all 3 of them right here and now. So I'm going to go ahead and load my game up. I'll meet you guys at that point. Alright, so here I am at the point where you need to rescue save from the room. So you could actually, if for whatever reason you wanted to trigger the other ways, you could just stay in this room for a while. But anyway, so Steve has 3 different animations that he does to show like what condition he's in. So when he's banging on the door like this, that means you still have the option to do it the fast road and get those extra points. So first I'll show you what you've already seen, which is fast.
That was too close. But I found something, thanks to you. Looks cool, huh?
Oh, I need those. Give them to me.
You gotta be kidding. I found it and I'm keeping it. Fine. Let's make a deal. I'll trade you for something fully automatic.
The rocket launcher's going through her.
See you around, Claire. Adios.
Hey, wait! Steve!
What an ass. Alright. So, now I'm going to show you guys what happens if you wait a little bit. Basically, if you wait until he, like, changes his posture a little bit. I don't know the exact duration. I think it's probably around 4 minutes if you wait. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys that next. Alrighty, so here's what Steve looks like when you reach, like, the middle stage. So he's panting, he's still pushing. So let's go ahead and release him and see what happens now.
Thought I wouldn't make it.
Oh, I need those. Give them to me.
You gotta be kidding. I found it and I'm keeping it. Fine. Let's make a deal. I'll trade you for something fully automatic. I'll see you around, Claire. Adios.
Hey, wait! Steve!
Alright, so the dialogue is exactly the same with maybe just the way he says, "See you around, Claire, adios." But then the major difference, of course, is the physical animations, because he is much weaker. Alrighty, so now I'm going to show you guys the final state, which if you take an extremely long time, like if you're brand new to the puzzle and for some reason just can't figure it out, which this would probably be the outcome. Alrighty, so here's Steve in his final state. It's like, it's pretty much on the verge of death right here. So let's go ahead and view this.
I made it. That was too close. What took you so long?
Oh, I need those. Give them to me.
Fine. But let's make a deal. I'll trade you for something fully automatic. I'll see you around, Claire. Adios.
Hey, wait, Steve!
Wow. Alright, so the first half of the dialogue is different because of his severely weakened state and how long Claire took. And then he skipped a section that he usually did. He didn't do the whole, "you gotta be kidding. I found it, I'm keeping it." He went straight to the deal. Alrighty, so I paid attention there for that one, and so you basically have until the music loops 9 times before he goes into his weakened state, and then you have 3 more loops until he goes into his near-death state. So that's a while for you to get the code, if you don't know it, but you need to study that code before you do this puzzle anyway. Now, one thing I never researched is if you just leave Steve in there indefinitely, does he die? I need to find that out before I continue with this epilogue. I'll be right back to you guys. Alrighty, so I tried it out, and no, he just doesn't die. So once he makes it into that final state, he'll just stay like that until you finally let him loose. So yeah, there's no point in it waiting any longer. So at least you have infinite time to finally figure it out if you couldn't at first to try every possible combination. Alrighty, so that will be the end of showing that to you. Now for the next thing.
Okay, let's do it! Wait here, Claire. Time to test out my new toy.
Alright, so the next thing I want to show you guys is what happens if you go back through the door with Steve when controlling him. If you go back through the door, Claire will make one of 3 sarcastic remarks. So I'm going to show you these 3 dialogues. They appear at random. I don't think there's a surefire way to trigger each one. Alright, so for the first one.
You still have plenty of ammo. You don't have to worry about holding back.
Okay, make that 4, because I have actually never heard that dialogue before. But that kind of throws me off a little bit. Anyway, so there's one of the dialogues, so now I'll show you the rest.
Do you want me to take care of this for you, little boy? You're not done yet. What's wrong? Cold feet?
Alrighty, so those are all the dialogues that Claire could give if you go back through the door. And they are completely randomized. There is no surefire way to trigger any one. But yeah, I was floored by the 4th one. At first I thought there were only 3, but then that 4th one came up and I was like, oh crap. So, I mean, I did it a few more times and I didn't get anything else, so I think those are the 4. So, alrighty, I got that done. Then the next thing I'm going to show you guys, so you've seen 2 out of 4 different ways you could end controlling Steve. It all depends on the amount of enemies that you defeat. So, you've seen when I defeat all of the enemies, and when I defeat no enemies. So I still have to show you what happens if you defeat like only a few enemies, and what happens if you defeat almost all enemies but leave like a couple. So I'm going to show you all 4 ways right now.
It was dirty work, but this area is now clean. See? You can depend on me. Hey, Claire! I managed to clear a path for you. It should be safe now. Well, what do you think of my work? They weren't even worth wasting the ammo needed to kill them. I've been waiting for you, milady. Check it out! I pulled through without a scratch. I even saved ammo for future use. Come on! I would have killed more, but I thought that you needed a workout. You see? This thing is a lot more reliable than any person.
Alrighty, so there are the 4 ways that you can end using Steve. So, kind of like with the Claire thing, I didn't at first know that there were 4 ways to do it with Steve. I thought there were only 3. Like, no enemies, some enemies, and all enemies. But there's just one slight difference if you if you defeat like a few enemies and if you defeat several, I guess. So, yeah, I'm glad I discovered that by accident. That's real interesting. Probably quite a few people didn't know that there were 4 different ways to do all of that. Alrighty, well, I am done with that. So, let's see. I got the list right here of what I'm showing you guys. So what's after that? Aha. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you guys are the 3 different levels of catapulting the tyrant on the plane. You've seen me hit him and it doesn't even get him close to the edge, and you've seen him make him go off the edge completely. What you haven't seen is him getting really close. But once again, I'm just going to show all 3 ways here and now. Alright, so there's almost getting him. Alright, so there's the 3 levels of catapulting the tyrant. So yeah, if you don't damage him at all or not enough, then it's not even going to get him close. If you damage him a bit, or you try to use the catapult right away, then he almost goes to the edge. But you have to damage him a certain amount. Basically, once he starts bleeding and limping a little bit, that's when he's ready to be catapulted. Alrighty? So that's that. Let me see what else I have. Aha. So I've shown you guys using the sniper rifle to defeat Nosferatu, and using the knife to defeat him. You haven't seen just normally defeating him with conventional weaponry, or him just dying. Basically, it just changes like what Claire's doing before she goes and rescues Steve. So I'll use my already recorded footage for the knife and the sniper rifle just to show you guys again, but I'll record just regularly defeating him, like with a rocket launcher, you know?
I've got you now.
Yes!
Steve! I've got you now.
Yes! So it's barely any different. You just don't have Claire holding the sniper rifle or the knife when she does that. That is literally the only difference. So that wasn't much of anything really. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the next thing right here and now, because we're right at that part. So earlier in this game, I did not give Rodrigo the hemostat. So we're about to see the consequences of that right here.
I didn't expect to find another living person left on this island. Who are you?
You see Chris's mouth?
I came here looking for a certain girl.
A girl?
Have you seen anyone named Claire Redfield?
Did you just say Claire?
You know who she is, don't you?
Don't worry about her. I helped her escape. Several planes took off from this island not long ago. While I can't say for certain, she was probably on one of them.
I see. I guess my sister owes you. Thanks for helping.
Everyone's gone. I may be the only other person left. Go on. Follow your sister and get off this island.
Okay, so this is different right here. Alright, so simply defeat it, and Rodrigo doesn't get swallowed by it. So, simply put, you don't get the lighter if you don't give Rodrigo the hemostat with Claire initially. Hence, you won't get the submachine guns or the Magnum at the end of the game. Now, there's one more thing. It's possible that Rodrigo still gets eaten, but I guess if you take too long and he's dead in the worm, or if you don't save him or something like that, then the worm will spit him out. You know what? I'm gonna try to show that if I can. Alright, so what I did was, I loaded a game where I did give him the hemostat, then I went through this again, and what I did was, instead of fighting the worm, I went straight for the elevator, called for it, went up, came back down, went in here, got a good weapon like the rocket launcher, and yeah, so basically if you wait too long, he just spits Rodrigo out just like that, and no dialogue. And yeah, you can't get the lighter from him, unfortunately. So, yep, gotta act fast and don't whip out. Alright, so there are the consequences of either taking too long to save him or not giving him the hemostat with Claire. Alright, so that is enough of that. So there's one more thing in the regular game that I have to show you, and that is the playing manual near the end of the game, because as you play through the game, the playing manual updates for you in case you're struggling on a puzzle or something like that. So let's check out the playing manual before the final boss fight, the latest possible spot to check it. Alright, here we are at the final boss fight. So, what better spot to do it here? What better spot than here to do it? So let's look at the final playing manual. And that's it. Alrighty. Alright, so that is everything I have to show you guys in the main game. Now, there are a few things I still have to show you in Battle Game, so we're going to go to that real quick. Alright, so here's everything that I'm going to show in Battle Game. I'm going to show off the linear launcher a little bit, and I'm also going to show you all the items that the slot machine offers, and all of the characters' animations, of course, when getting to the slot machine. And there are also some little Easter eggs with the characters themselves in Battle Game. In certain areas, they can perform certain actions, just like as a little animation. It doesn't give you a reward or anything, it's just a little cool thing that you could do with all of them. So I'm going to show all of that at once, so enjoy the rest of the bonus video. So here's the linear launcher. I feel like I'm slower with this than with the bow gun. Maybe not in this case, but And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to conclude Resident Evil Code Veronica X entirely. I really hope you guys enjoyed this game. It's a pretty nice game, and I stand by what I say in my Q&As. It is one of the toughest Resident Evil games in the classic series, anyway. Even though I did it pretty well, it's only because I have experience, that's all. But upon learning it, it is one of the tougher ones, and one of the more longer ones, if you ask me. But overall, it's a really, really good game, and I'm glad it's part of the main series. Alrighty, so that's going to conclude Code Veronica X totally. The next game in the franchise, in order of release date, is another spin-off title, and possibly the worst title in the series, regarded by the fans of the franchise. It is Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color. Yeah, no joke. I will be doing that game next. It's a relatively short game. It's not as short as Survivor, but it is still much shorter than any of the mainline Resident Evil games. So, shouldn't take too long, and I don't think there's a lot to unlock in that game, if anything, and I don't know if there's a lot of secrets either. I'm going to research it a little bit before I go through it, but I'm most likely only going to play that game one time through. And there's no minigames in it either, so it should be a fast and short little game. We'll see when I get to it. But anyways, one more time, I hope you guys enjoyed Resident Evil Code Veronica X in HD. Alright, so this is Shankster94, aka TheGamerShankster. Rate, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shankster_94 and to check out my Facebook page. I update those constantly, telling you guys what I'm doing for my content in between videos. So it would be great if you started following those. If you don't have those social media outlets, I apologize. Alrighty, peace out. I will see you guys next time in Resident Evil Gaiden. Or, let's fully play Resident Evil Gaiden. I might just drop the fully part because there's only one way of playing it, and that's playing it through. So, I will see you guys next time in Let's Play Resident Evil Gaiden. Alright, peace out. You guys are the best.